Myanmar, Burma, is the largest country in mainland Southeast Asia, but one of the poorest in the region. Since the military coup in early 2021 that deposed the democratically elected government, the nation has been plunged into a deep crisis, marked by widespread conflict, human rights abuses, and a struggling economy. However, the Australian government is still politically active in the country, having an embassy in the largest city of Yangon. The head of mission, the Chargé d'affaires, is Ms Angela Corcoran. It seems her role is to push the Australian government's divisive agenda in the region. It's important to note that Myanmar is a deeply socially conservative Buddhist-majority nation, where traditional attitudes towards sex and sexuality are deeply ingrained. However, this doesn't seem to stop Ms Corcoran from pushing the Australian government's woke agenda. For example, in this video from December 2024, Ms Corcoran stated, "This year's theme for the 16 days of activism against gender-based violence highlights the ongoing need for everyone to mobilise and unite to end violence against women and girls, and I'm pleased to reaffirm Australia's commitment to advancing gender equality and ending gender-based violence in all its forms." And that was just the first sentence. She went on to discuss intimate partner violence, emphasising that gender-based violence is both a domestic and international challenge, and noted, "We have committed to a 10-year strategy for ending gender-based violence." She highlighted the need to address, prevent and respond to gender-based violence to make our country stronger, more secure and inclusive, adding that women and girls are disproportionately affected by poverty, climate change, and so on, unequivocally stating, "Gender inequality is the root cause of all gender-based violence." She concluded by saying, "We need to work with all members of society, including men and boys, to transform harmful gendered social norms, attitudes and behaviours." So basically, she wants to change Myanmar's deeply ingrained cultural values, some of which have been central to the nation's social fabric for well over a millennium. On the embassy's Facebook page, they of course have Aboriginal art. Their Facebook page is essentially one big social justice activism site. This year alone, for instance, they've been actively attempting to advance disability equity in the country. To be clear, I'm not saying that I'm against any of this, I'm just showing you the range of their progressive agenda in the socially conservative country that is Myanmar. They're helping the Myanmar people tackle the climate by offering the Responding to the Climate Change Challenge short course. They openly condemn the Myanmar military regime, including, you guessed it, gender-based violence. It's amazing the military junta allow the Australian government to continue to have an embassy in the country. They continue to recognise the unique contributions of Indigenous peoples, women and girls, persons with disabilities, and youth in climate change action. Basically, everyone except regular men. They promote Australia's international gender equality strategy. They're promoting people to learn in their native languages, as opposed to English, I assume. They seem to imply something is inherently wrong with English, even though it's arguably the most successful and useful language in modern history. They, of course, celebrate International Women's Day, not Men's Day. Ms Corcoran is promoting something called Women in Cities. I'm not sure what it's about, but it sounds pretty woke. Women in business, unleash her potential. But the biggest thing they've been pushing of late is the LGBT pride agenda. They've got multiple photos of various people proudly displaying the rainbow flag in the relative safety of the embassy grounds. This month, they're also promoting Pride Month 2025. At this point, it should be noted that same-sex sexual activity is illegal under Section 377 of Myanmar's Penal Code, regardless of whether they were consensual or done in private. The punishment is up to 20 years in prison. Transgender people are subject to police harassment and sexual assault, and their gender identity is not recognised by the state. Consequently, the Australian government's visible promotion of LGBT pride initiatives directly goes against Myanmar's existing legal framework, which criminalises same-sex sexual activity. This raises a pertinent question. Would Australia tolerate a foreign embassy within its own borders actively promoting actions considered illegal under Australian law? This highlights a major hypocrisy, does it not? Australia is, in essence, openly advocating for the disregard of laws in Myanmar that it fundamentally disagrees with, while demanding strict adherence to its own laws within its borders.